Kuala Lumpur, seat of Malaya's central administration, is a prosperous, bustling city, unlike most other Asian capitals. It is a well-run, modern, clean city whose fanciful architectural styles vary from mosque-like office buildings to Victorian gingerbread buildings. Soldiers from England's Worcestershire Regiment crowd the sidewalks with people from every nation in the East. Here in the heart of the city, dominated by this memorial to empire builder Sir Frank Swettenham, life is as relaxed as one chooses to make it. Some of Kuala Lumpur's residents prefer to take things as they come. Of the greatest importance in Kuala Lumpur, as everywhere in Malaya, are the Chinese. Roughly equal in numbers to the Malays, they completely dominate the country's economic life, without sharing in its politics to any appreciable extent. Throughout Kuala Lumpur, the Chinese way of life is everywhere in evidence. The Malay-Chinese conflict is the root of Malaya's problems today. The Chinese attachment to their customs and traditions is exemplified by the popularity of this Chinese music drama. Today, responsible Malay and Chinese residents of Kuala Lumpur are working with the government to convince their followers that both sides will profit from an equally shared Malayan citizenship. Kuala Lumpur's European population is small compared to its Asian inhabitants. Estate managers in from the jungle for a brief visit know many of Kuala Lumpur's civil servants and government officials who form a small, tight group in this tropical outpost. One of the favorite meeting places for the capital's white residents is the Coliseum Bar. Here, Tony Hooper hopes to see a few friends and catch up on the news and gossip, especially the prospects for U.S. stockpiling of rubber, which would send the price of his rubber up once more. Inside the Coliseum, Hooper encounters Robert Lindsay, an officer in the government's information service. Scotsman Lindsay has been in Kuala Lumpur for a year, but even the most recently arrived civil servant can tell the jungle visitors from the men stationed in Kuala Lumpur. No rubber planter ever goes unarmed. Lindsay plans to spend a few days at Fraser's Hill, a comfortable resort hotel 66 miles from Kuala Lumpur in the jungle. The woods and the edge of the jungle outside the city still harbor some communist guerrillas. Although the underbrush has been carefully cut back from the winding road to prevent a close-range ambush, the car bearing Mr. and Mrs. Lindsay is convoyed by armored vehicles on the alert for signs of trouble. The convoy must slow up at each hairpin turn, making it an easy target for terrorists. On this road, Malaya's last High Commissioner was ambushed and killed on his way to Fraser's Hill. The Lindsays arrived safely at the Maxwell Arms, the Fraser Hill English-style pub. The entire club is in the middle of primitive jungle, undisturbed for centuries. Yet the pleasant cottages and well-kept golf course have the quiet suburban atmosphere of any American country club on a summer weekend. Put two Englishmen in the jungle and they will hack out a golf course, is an old British saying. Robert Lindsay, like most British residents of Malaya, sticks to his custom of weekend golfing and business as usual, terrorists or no terrorists. It is this British ability to impress the English way of life on the varied lands under their influence that made them such successful colonizers. But the jungle golf course is fading fast as a symbol of the British Empire. Today, Lindsay and his associates are strongly in favor of self-rule for Malaya. Visible proof of Britain's changing attitude are Kuala Lumpur's once exclusive clubs. Formerly restricted to Englishmen only, these august institutions were recently opened to Asians for the first time in Malaya's history. On this Sunday morning, Mr. and Mrs. Lindsay enjoy the weekly cricket match at the Salangra Club. Mrs. Nixon, the scorekeeper, is a fixture at the club. The order to admit non-Europeans to what once was the stronghold of British colonialism was a revolutionary move, but the majority of resident Englishmen supported it wholeheartedly.